22 hours. No rain for 22 hours, yet the game between India and Canada has been abandoned without a single ball being bowled. You could not fix that one area. It's not that the rain came down and you could not play because conditions were dangerous. There was this one patch in the ground, which was also the patch. It was also the wet patch, which was responsible for the USA versus Ireland game to be called off. That same patch was also the reason that the India versus Canada game has been called off. And you have to feel for the fans. Plenty of fans turned up here. I was speaking to a lot of them. Turned up from Canada, turned up from different parts of USA. I met a group of fans that drove for 24 hours non-stop to be here. And what happens? That you send them disappointed without a single ball being bowled. And it's not that it was raining. If it was raining, it's another thing. Fans can, in that sense, be okay with it, but not when it's not raining. What is it that you needed to do? Very inexpensive solution to that. Inexpensive solution is that you have ground covers. Those ground covers are put in the center area inside a 30-yard circle to protect that playing area. If you knew that was the problem area near the third man point area, which was getting wet again and again because it was slightly lower than the rest of the ground, you could have put those covers there as well. Inexpensive solution. Yes, you had all the other gizmos in super soppers and the ground stuff working. You had these industrial sized blowers being used. But eventually the kind of water that it seeped in under the top surface ensured that the game was called off. The umpires didn't want to risk it. They didn't want any injury because the top surface was dry. You could not dry the inside surface, which had made the ground soft and then could have caused injury. I know the players themselves would have been reluctant, especially the Indian players. They have a Super 8 stage to look after, but better organization could have ensured that you had a game here. Overall, I think this is also marking the end of the US leg of the tournament. Overall, I think there are a lot of question marks over the organization, and I think the blame lies squarely with the organizers, that are the ICC. You got the World Cup here for what? To push the World Cup or to popularize the sport amongst the US masses. But what has this done? On 2 back-to-back days, there are fans that have turned up, no rain, and you could not give them a game. Will that help popularize the game? No. So on every count, the organizers have been found wanting. You could have had a bigger ground staff. You could have ensured that you have those covers. You could have done various other things to ensure that this leg of the tournament was good. I'm not even looking at other organizational glitches like you had in ticketing, where tickets was sold for crazy amounts of dollars. That is another deterrent for fans to be attracted to this game. I think the only saving grace for cricket in the US have been twofold. One, you have to say the fans loved the energy of the fans, loved all cricket fans in the US. They traveled from far and wide, paid big bucks, came on days where the game didn't happen, and then still supported the sport and the team that they love. So the fans have been the biggest positive, and the second biggest positive has been the USA team and the way that they've played their cricket. They've ensured that cricket becomes more popular, and they've given far more goodwill to the sport of cricket than the entire organization of this tournament. And this is something that the organizers in ICC will have to look at carefully, because they tried their best to ensure that this leg isn't going to be successful. For the Indian team, it was going to be a good opportunity to try a few things had this game gone on. A few glitches here and there. Openers could have gotten some runs under their belt, maybe tried a few other players on the bench, given them some game time. So if you needed them in the Super 8 stage, you didn't bring them in cold. They would have had some game time under their belt. That could have helped. That's another opportunity that the Indian team could not utilize because the game was washed out here in Florida. My stint here also comes to an end. I always heard of this place as the Sunshine State. Unfortunately, I did not see sun at all in the 3 odd days that I was here. For an Indian fan, if you look at the larger picture, macro picture, not much to lose from here, because you've qualified for the Super 8. Pakistan, knocked out because that one game could not happen. Lot of things to ponder over. Lot of things to improve, I'd say, for the organizers if you want to popularize the sport here in USA. For the moment, Nikhil Naz signing off. Next, I'm going to see you with my ground reports, with the match reports from the Caribbean. We head to Barbados for India's first game versus Afghanistan. Another reminder, If you like our content, do give us a like on this video, share it with your cricket loving friends, and yeah, last but not the least, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today. Bye bye.